Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's real late on Hot 97 on a Sunday night in New York City. My name is Peter Rosenberg, and I'm very excited. My man King Los is in the building. King Los,
what's happening?
Whose album comes out on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's the prelude to the album.
What does that mean, though? But it's still an available album that you can purchase.
But you have to set it up right, because this is my story.
All right, so set this up for us, right? So what is exactly, explain what you mean when you say it's a prelude to the album.
Well, because we birthed this baby as a mixtape, and then it found a home with adopting parents who is telling it it's an album, but it's really a mixtape that evolved into a better, it got taken in from like the projects to like middle class America. So it's being taken care of with RCA Records. No, but the whole concept just birthed from a mixtape concept, and then we just built on top of that, and then the label, and Jay Grand were interested in putting their scientific evil geniuses to work. So it was like a collaboration. So on one side it's a mixtape, and on one side it's an album. So it's like a mixtape.
And what's it called?
It's called God, Money, War.
And do you know?
And in that order.
And do you know what the album itself is going to be called also?
No one knows. Only God knows.
Only
maybe that's the title.
Is the name of it Only God Can Judge Me?
No.
Okay.
But maybe it's Only God Knows.
Yeah, interesting.
But Only God knows.
If that's the title.
If that's the title.
Ooh, there's levels
to it.
So you're from Baltimore. It's funny. I realized yesterday I hit you up and asked for your number, and then when I went to send you a text, it said in my phone, Los, Baltimore. Like, that's how I had you in my phone, because at some point I met you. I think we met at SOB's years ago. Is that possible?
That is possible.
I feel like you and your lady were both there for a show. I don't remember who. And I'd heard your name, but like it all came together that day.
I wasn't King Los back then.
You weren't King Los, you were Los. You were just Los.
I was Swagger Boy Los.
No, what does that mean?
That was my Twitter name, and it just happened. So you gotta let it happen.
Why were you Swagger Boy Los?
Because you needed a Twitter name, and you couldn't just be Los, because Los is always taken.
Right, of course it is.
So it was like, what could I have? And it was like, oh, Swagger Boy Los, and it worked. It truly worked. It grew. It was a moniker that I was proud of. You know what happened? I started doing shows. I started getting bigger as I was Swagger Boy Los, and they started announcing me as Swagger Boy Los. That wasn't my name. I was Los. But when they started bringing me out, coming to the stage, Swagger Boy Los, and it was like, oh, fuck it. People are clapping. I'm gonna go with this. This is the first time people clapped. I'm going with it.
But it's so funny because at least from the interview we did this week for Ebro in the Morning, it seems like Swagger Boy Los is the last name you would have. Like, not that you don't have swag, but that is not your calling card. Like, you don't hang your hat on that.
I don't glorify the swag, but it's awesome. My swag is awesome.
What makes your swag awesome? You were saying that when we talked the other day. You were saying, you can watch the interview on YouTube, that interview as well, which is great. But you were saying that, even when you had nothing, you didn't ever look like you had nothing.
Right. Well, I never had nothing, but when I say nothing, I didn't have the things that I wanted the way that I wanted them. And to me, that's nothing. That's like, all right, this is worthless. Like, I have to do what my heart says at all times. And, but, I always, I couldn't always dress because I like to believe so. But when I look back at some things, I'm like, yo, what did I have on?
What era?
Recently. Like when I look back at just 2 years ago, like pictures from the studio, just 2-3 years ago, I'm like, what?
What did you have on? Give us an example just from 2 years ago. What were you doing?
It was still swag though. Just camos and denim vest with maybe popular demand t-shirts. With popular demand t-shirt is fly, but just the way I put the whole thing together, thinking I was like swagging on the next level, not.
And you weren't.
The further I go back, the more I'm embarrassed. Like Baltimore in 2007 was like tall tees and
no.
big hats. Like we followed like the Harlem Creed.
Yes.
And we did the big hats. Didn't work at all. I had braids, cornrows, gold teeth. It was just all bad.
You were wearing T-skirts? Were you wearing T-skirts out here?
Yeah, I guess you could call it that. But I was just wearing a 3X.
That's a T-skirt.
Yeah.
Because you're not big enough for a 3X.
I'm not. I never was, never will be.
I want to talk a little bit about your influences hip-hop wise. Like I said, we have another interview that you can see on YouTube, which has all the details of your personal life and where you came from and how you view the world. But I want to talk more from a rap standpoint, because the truth about you is you are a rapper's rapper. Like, people know. So last night.
Listen.
Go ahead.
I'm confident because I'm the best rapper in the world. It's simple. No,
LeBron.
No, man. You know, yeah, I'm one of those guys that can really rap. And more importantly, I have a message.
That's the real bonus.
So the rap comes second.
Because when you talk about the list of people who could not only rap, but also had a message and didn't seem preachy or boring, you get into a pretty limited list, right? And then that list is of people who are like, you're throwing out names there like Pharaoh and Mos and people who were like, there's not a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mos, who might be he might be a cousin of mine. Like, Mos might be a distant cousin of mine.
Do you love Mos?
Yeah, I love Mos. Come on, man.
He's
like, what's to not love about Mos, man? Miss Fat Booty?
Choo!
Stop it.
That whole album was...
But he's just dope, man. Like, I love Yasin Bey. That guy. Black Dante.
Black Dante is one of the best nicknames in the world, by the way.
Ever. And his, man, come on. Between him and Andre 3000, I can't pick. I just can't pick. Like, I think they're the two most vicious, humble. Like, don't ever piss those dudes off. Like, I don't know what might happen to you.
Yeah, I know. They're like superheroes who are just
really low-key. They know everything. They have all knowledge. They're like the smartest, most intelligent guys, but the flyest. Like, they just got everything.
You like to do the raps, it appears.
From time to time, I like to rhyme the rhyme.
Yeah. Okay, well, is it, people are gonna bug out if I say this and start saying nasty things in the comments, but has anyone ever thrown the idea out there?
Nope.
Of you having the potential to be, and I don't know one wants to be compared to another man who you're competitive with in the game, but I think we all agree that this man's pretty great, so it's I think a very positive comparison. Has anyone ever thrown out the idea of you being an East Coast Kendrick?
Well, no. I've never heard that, and you know, I mean, I'm older than Kendrick.
Does that ruin the compliment of it?
No. It's just to establish some boundaries of being the something. You know, the something. It's
right,
like,
that inherently.
Yeah, I can't inherit. Like, I'm older than him. You know, I've been doing music and putting out music longer, and I mean, I'm more like the new Rakim, you know what I'm saying? And Kendrick has, you know, I mean, if anything, Kendrick is a West Coast, East Coast guy. Yes. Like, I can't be a East Coast, West Coast guy.
Especially if the West Coast guy is East Coast.
Like, Kendrick got an East Coast flow, man. You know what I'm saying? And not to knock the West, because it's a lot of cast it, but Kendrick is like that kid that, like, somebody on the block in New York is like bugging out from his lyrics, like, you know what I'm saying? And that's that influence that comes from the East Coast, you know what I'm saying?
But you do cover more, and obviously, you know, Rakim is obviously a top 3 MC, wherever you want to put him number 1, put him number wherever in that conversation.
Yeah.
But it does seem like you cover a lot more ground than Rakim did.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not what made him amazing. Was not his social commentary. Like he had some, but that's not what Rakim's went back to over and over again.
Yeah, no, it's just at the end of the day, we run faster, we jump higher.
The game has changed,
and we get stronger, and you know, I'm like a lot before Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know I look younger, but I'm like a lot before him. So it's like, to be honest with you, to even still be compared is a great compliment, because like you could get outclassed easy when these new kids are so innovative, man. They're so fresh, and the energy and the frequencies that they're on are so new that they're just finding their magic. You know what I'm saying? Like I had mine a long time, and to still be this consistent and still be compared to like the youngest, hottest guy, like that's a compliment within itself.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. I mean, everyone has a different path, right? I mean, even if you take Kendrick's path was longer than many people's. Many people, they don't make albums and mixtapes first. Some people get some luck out and it starts cracking instantaneously. Some people drop 14 mixtapes. It just, everyone has a different path.
Yeah.
But with Kendrick, my main point of comparison is that you have someone who can rap his ass off, who is the eyes to the street and reports on what they saw in the street without trying to say that they are a street dude.
Right.
And it has overall world vision.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because not everyone has world vision.
Yeah.
And then of course Kendrick is a great person to have your sights on success-wise, just because without compromising, he's been able to make so much money, reach so many people.
Which makes it easier, you know, for someone who, you know, on a success level is trailing him, because he set the standard for the young person to be able to have that much integrity and still be successful in the day and age of the music business as we know it now. So yeah, like that's super dope. Like when Good Kid, Mad City came out, I thought it was an instant classic, you know, and I bumped it for probably 4 months straight. It was like nothing else to really listen to outside of that, as far as me being motivated musically by a peer of mine.
How do you feel when people say that they don't like to listen to current music because they feel like it influences them and they ignore what's out there? A lot of people say that.
I could dig it, you know, but you know, I don't know, man. It's like, it's just, you know, artistry is weird. So different people are motivated by different things. So it's like, if you're dope and you don't listen to stuff, don't ever listen to stuff. But if you're the kind of person that kind of sponges off, and then, you know, you want to take all your acquired knowledge to the next level, then, you know, some people read books, some people don't.
I want to play a couple of things real quick and just get your impressions. Just tell me a little bit about what the song means to you, if anything. This is just some fun nerd rap stuff, because I can tell. Like I said, again, go on YouTube and watch the Ebro in the Morning interview. There's a lot of political conversation, a lot of social conversation, a lot of Baltimore conversation. But I love when I can tell that someone's a student of the game, who's actually amazing and a student of the game. I get very excited by it. So tell me, I'm just gonna play a song for a few seconds. You tell me if it brings any thoughts to your mind. If it doesn't, I'll play something else. All right. A lot of people would have played part 1, but I feel like for you, I feel like you'd appreciate part 2. New York State of Mind part 2 by Nas.
Yeah, man. Yo, you could smell like his raps. Like, he's probably the most descriptive rapper. You could close your eyes and you could walk through his raps. Like, they exist.
Yeah, you can see the scene that he sees.
They exist beyond him. Like, it's crazy. Oh my God. I sit back with this pack, it's this ass in this bag, it this weed, it gives me the need it to be the most meanest MC on this earth, cause birth I've been cursed with this curse, this curtain, this blurt, this berserk, and this dark, that works and it helps in itself.
Actually, you know what? I've heard you rap. I've heard pieces of that in your freestyling before.
Come on, man.
Like, did this just blow your mind at the time?
Okay, so this is the wordsmith. Eminem is the wordsmith. He's the guy who takes consonant clusters and compound syllable structure, and he bends words. He's the word bender.
Where do you put? I mean, these guys, both Nas and M, are people you have in your top 5. These are your on the list of your favorite MCs.
Yeah.
Do you have one who's out and out number one?
I got my number one has to go to Cannabis. My number two would have to go to Pun. Did in the middle with Little Italy, little be no little. There's every middleman who didn't do diddly.
Hold on. Is this like your favorite picture of all time? You should have that framed in your house. That should be framed in your house.
Yeah.
It's the picture in the restaurant. I think it was from The Source.
And they was going off at the table. Stupid, too.
Yeah, they're rhyming at the table. Big Pun, Cannabis, Mos. I mean, John Forte's there.
DMX.
Did DMX. All smoking cigarettes inside a diner. It's just so 90s.
It's so perfect.
It's so good.
It's the best thing that ever happened in life.
Yo, you know what else? You know what else was amazing from the Cannabis era? Thanks. All right, here's another amazing part from the Cannabis era.
And you know, Cannabis too was really he wasn't the first, but Cannabis was really like the first to really like air you out though, like loud and clear. Like people used to do like their little disses, and it, like hip hop's always been competitive, but Cannabis would like air you while you're like right there. Like if it's a cipher, he's trying to air the whole cipher. And he gonna rhyme for 20 minutes until somebody just says that he killed that moment. Like he was doing that at that table where it didn't matter.
Who else was on that list? You said Nas, Pun, Cannabis.
I seen some cold nights and bloody days. They grabbed me, bullet sprayed. They used me wrong, so I sing the song till it's dead. My body is cold still for real. I was made to kill. That's why they keep me concealed. Under car seats, they sleep me in clubs. And in the hands of mad thugs, they feed me when they load me with mad slugs. 17 precisely, one in my head. They call me Desert Eagle. Send me auto with lead. I'm 7 inches, 4 pounds. Been through so many towns from Canarsie to Little Rock to Flat.
that song is so genius, man.
Yo, stop playing, man. Stop playing, man.
Who did I forget? Nas, Pun,
you did Nas, Pun,
M,
Cannabis, Big L. Big L, flamboyant, man. Big L was the best all-around rapper.
Why do you say that?
He had every element of it. He had style. He used street. He had verbal mechanics, but he talked like he just had everything. He had the whole thing. Like and he talked that player shit too.
Where do you put Hov in the rap conversation?
And like the top, or like fave or
let's say either one. Yeah, sure. Your favorite. You can say that too.
He's in my top 10.
And you put him in roughly the same place as an MC, or you have him a little lower as an MC?
Nah, cause Jay getting nasty too. Jay just was the kind of person who understood how to adapt to everything. Jay was the chess player. You gotta respect the chess player because Cannabis wasn't.
They're almost exact opposites.
Yeah, but it's like you something to love about all of those guys. But Jay still not letting you body him. Like to this day, I'm still a firm believer that it was a tie on Renegade.
Really?
Yeah.
No one says that. Everyone says he got bodied. That's the common thought. That's what everyone likes to say.
That's because aesthetically, like to the ear, people are humans. Like they don't know what they're talking about. They're just humans.
And especially once they heard some people say it a few times. I mean, by the way, I'm one of the only people who thinks that Takeover is better than Ether also. So, I know a lot of people think I'm insane for that, but I just think it's a more complete song. Like I don't listen to it for the punchline. And I love Nas, by the way. Of course, I think Nas is one of the greatest ever. But in that specific moment,
Jay says so many amazing things, bro.
He had the lines. Let me put it this way. Nas says, "You look like a rat." Jay says, "I know who I paid God, Searchlight Publishing." His lines are more impactful. So if you're being short-sighted, you're hearing insults, you're getting excited about the insults, not about the insults. He's saying more meaningful things on the song.
He did. I think the reason why it balances out is because Ether was so incredibly disgusting. and the beat and the approach and the fact that you never really saw Nas that dark before.
Yes.
So the element of surprise, like, oh, I can get dirty.
Yeah.
Like, I could get dirty. And Jay was just like, I tell you what, Jay had to come. He had to do Super Ugly after that because
Which he never should have done.
he had to do Super Ugly though.
Because Nas went so hard.
Because Nas went so dark on him. He had to do Super Ugly, man. It was one of the greatest moments in hip hop.
Do you miss that element right now? Like people having real battles and you don't ever think it's going to end in a shootout, but you know it's serious and you know they mean it?
No, I couldn't see it in this era. I can't even see it.
Why?
These guys are so unstable. They don't even know who they are. I would hate to see it. Somebody would die for certain. Somebody would die. Nobody cares that Biggie and Pac died. Nobody cares enough, man. Like, nobody's looking at it like, yo, if we get into something crazy, it could be crazy. Like, we can't do this. Nobody cares. Nobody takes responsibility, man. They would love it. They would love to kill somebody and use that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. It is not even many lyricists who would battle.
You'd have to be at a very pro level, right? Like, I'm just throwing names out there.
Yo, dudes gonna see each other and it's gonna be real, bro.
No, not you. It wouldn't be real if you had someone like, I'm just throwing this out there, but if someone like J. Cole and Drake, or Kendrick and Drake. I always have to throw Drake in the conversation because so many people hate on Drake, right? Drake's a great personality to have that with. And Drake is great at one-liners and could make it interesting and compelling.
Drake be slapping people around all the time in his music.
But he paws at them. Drake likes to paw. Drake and Common pawed at each other so bad. I loved it, though. Don't get me wrong. I loved Drake's Stay Scheming verse. I thought it was like one of his best moments. But
Drake got so many more things, like... Yo, Drake says so much stuff, man. Drake.
And by the way, people ignore it too. People will just be like,
nah, they try to ignore it because that kid is like, that's the one light-skinned kid that really will get into the stuff with you, man.
I think he likes it. I think he really does like
Drake
that
could
part
give you all like obvious subliminals and just like, it'll make it tough for you. It'll make it tough for you. And I think it's the fact that because he doesn't have like that tough guy image and he hits you with this, like, he's catty, man. Like, he knows how to say things in a way. Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why he pause with you.
Veracity in his.
Yeah, no, he'll come in. You will get smacked and tapped a few times. By the time you turn around, you realize you got jabbed the whole round. It's not a knockout punch. I'm gonna tell you like this:
Drake is the guy that it's no longer gonna be about lyricism. Like, you could be a better rapper than him, and it's not gonna matter.
Why? Because of the impact of what he says.
Because what he says and the way he relates to the culture, the way they follow him, he can, like...
Have we ever seen anything like this? Let's be clear about that. In terms of the way the culture follows him, have we ever seen what Drake has done?
Yeah.
With who?
Lil Wayne. For certain.
Yeah, Wayne was pretty scorching.
Everything he did, they did. Everything he did. He played guitar. I saw people play guitar.
And that was...
He skateboards. Like, Lil Wayne is the coolest rapper that ever existed. As far as success, being him, doing whatever he wants, being a rock star, being one of the illest lyricists. Wayne is sick.
Absolutely.
He is disgusting.
But you know what Wayne never... Well, no, I can't even say that. I was going to say Wayne didn't put people on the same way Drake did, but he did. He put on Drake. And he put on Nicki. And they're two of the biggest stars in the world.
And you know, I mean, yeah.
Because I'm always amazed by... One of the things that amazes me is that the people Drake has put on have blown up and it doesn't even make sense. Like the way that The Weeknd, Party Next Door, McConan have blown, it doesn't even make sense. You're talking about artists who don't even have a genre to fit into. There is no sensible way you could point out, yo, The Weeknd, bless him, love the dude, has never set foot in here. Never.
It's a lot of stuff he don't do though. He's that guy though.
But
he's a guy that's like different, you know, like. I know him, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm actually like we're actually cool. Like that's the homie. And once you get to know him and I'm not saying like I know him on like a super personal deep level, but just to know him, he's that guy who's probably, you know, like his socks are probably together in the top drawer. Like, you know, he's just a particular guy. He does things a certain kind of way, but I think that attributes to part of his genius, like part of the thing that makes him special.
I just recently came to really appreciate The Weeknd with his last run of records. This last bunch were the ones that made me like, whoa.
Yo,
took me to a different place.
My girl put me up on something with him. The whole Ethiopian thing, because you know, like she's Ethiopian.
Mm-hmm.
Like
she's from? Oh yeah, of course. She's from DC.
She's born in Ethiopia.
Yes. Oh, she was born in Ethiopia?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So she's put me up on the whole thing, like a lot of his tones and a lot, because you know, like his thing is different. She was saying that a lot of his stuff comes off in a more Ethiopian way. And that's why it's different, but that's why it's unique. That's why it still feels good. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Because I don't know a plethora of Ethiopian music. I can't say that I have, you know.
By the way, what's up with your girl rhyming? Like she was on it. And I was talking to her as she was putting her stuff out. I'm like, yo, this is you're starting to get somewhere. Then y'all went and had a baby, of course.
She just got like a whole lot better.
Fast.
No.
More?
Now. She just got a whole lot better again. I've never seen a person that absolutely could not rap. I mean, from like can't rap, you have no timing, you frustrate and disgust me, to, and you wrote that by yourself, to that, to, like, I played some stuff the other day, and
by the way, we're talking about Lola Monroe,
and the dude was like, yo, so that's dope. Like, you write her stuff, that's dope. And I was like, dude, no.
Because you realized the way that Lola came out was a way that, as you know, as a hip hop head, the natural setup is to hate, right?
I told her that.
Well, here's the thing. So the natural setup was, okay, this beautiful woman's a model, blah, blah, blah. Now she's gonna rap. Right. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. So at first I saw her things pop up, didn't think anything of it. Met her, very sweet person. I'm like, I'm gonna check out the music. That was around the time she was making her first transition and getting better. And I heard and I was like, oh, this is interesting. You're way better than you should be based on what people are going to assume.
Man, listen. The stuff, like, don't struggle with the stuff that people struggle with, you know? One of the biggest obstacles in life is dealing with the small capacity of others. You don't struggle with that stuff, man. Just keep this way. Keep that way. You know what I'm saying? Like when Pun say, go that way. Keep that way, bro. Because I'm going to tell you, man, in 4 years is a cycle every time. Now, she come out as a model, you know. Of course, there's the whole butt thing. There's the whole thing, right? And it's like an atrocity. And then to rap is like to slap every great pioneer of hip hop across the face. And it's like, what are you doing? It's
and
like,
I love that she's with you, by the way. The purest of all purists.
Yeah. And it's like you're getting booed. Like people don't even want to begin to hear you. But I'm a double back on that. So don't let me forget that. But I'm gonna come full circle. So then it's like the butt, this, it's all too much, right? Now if you don't have a butt, you don't even exist. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like, who are you? You don't have a butt. Shut up.
I know.
Think about this, bro.
Believe me, I have.
Now let me double back. Where did I double? Where was I at?
You said people don't even want to hear you.
So basically, they're not even going to want to hear what you have to say. So what that means is they're not going to give you a chance based on what their preconceived notion is. Okay. So remember this. I used to have arguments about Nicki Minaj. When she first came out, she was a lot more exaggerated. And she would do the whole da-da-da-da with the voice. And people did not, like, from a street level, come on, man. Come on, man. Hey. People didn't even want to hear it. And I'm like, no. But listen to the bars, though. It's bars in there. And I don't know where they come, but they're there. And I know, I'm like, no, there's bars there though. It is animated, it is whatever. But so is Busta Rhymes, so is, certain things in music, But there's bars in there, and just from people not wanting to initially, they see one thing that they don't like and they just grade everything based on that. And it was like that. And then it's like, now she do stuff and it's like, did she get me on that? I think she got me. She got me. I don't forget it. It's my girl. It's cool. Like, she got joints where she gets me. Like, she bodies me on joints.
That really happens?
It happens, bro. She bodies me on joints. And the thing is, like, I know, but I'm like, I'm me. So it's like, if I don't say it, I'm probably just seeing it way too technically. And then, like, the homies is like, and I'm like, what? Did she get you? A couple times the homie said she got me. So I gotta let it. I think she got me on the 6 guard joint. On the 6 guard freestyle.
And you think she took you on that record?
I think she took me on the 6 guard freestyle because she did it and she sent it to me, and I was inspired by what she did, so I jumped on it, and I just wasn't ready.
And then exactly. Then you're trying to make up ground.
Trying to catch up, make up, just jump in the booth, and she got me. But she takes her time and writes though.
We're talking to King Los. His album's out Tuesday. This is one of the more intriguing, better just MCs on the planet right now. I played my wife yesterday your Sway freestyle, and I think my wife's quote was, and my wife watches, she doesn't sit there and watch every Sway freestyle that happens, but my wife watches and listens to her share of stuff, obviously being around me. But she didn't know you, so I'm like, well, check out King Los for a second.
It's the greatest icebreaker ever.
She watched it, and my wife, I think her direct quote was, "He's the best rapper I've ever seen." I think that's what she said.
Yo, I have to go study that and find out, cause I'm a big mechanics guy. One of my gifts is to be able to see the mechanics of things and figure it out. I'm like the MacGyver of rap, and I have to watch that because I don't know what it is. But when I watch it, I'm not compelled as much.
You're not going to figure it out, by the way, bro, because it's not that. It's what you did in that video, in my opinion, is really just what a great rapper does when it's time to rap. But these days that doesn't happen.
But I have to see what it was that stimulated other people, because just like with Drake's project, I had a chance. The last time I was home, and it was like a 5-hour flight to LA. And I was like, man, let me just listen to this entire project, because I listened to it in pieces. And let me listen to it because it did like 500,000 in 3 days. I'm like, let me really get into the mechanics of this thing. I listened to it and I thought it was dope, but if it's 500,000 in 3 days dope, I need to really
understand.
I need to listen from another perspective.
Well, no, because you're sitting there, because I felt
not
the same
being
way.
Los.
I felt the same way because I watched the freestyle again last night. And the amount of views it gets, now granted, Sway has a big channel and things of that nature, but the amount of views and love it gets isn't commiserate to your other material. So you're trying to figure it out. I get it.
And they had a world vote. It's voted the #1 Sway in the Morning freestyle.
And a lot of people spit those freestyles.
Yeah, it's voted the #1 ever. Like they did a top 10. It's #1.
Now listen, I'm not saying this because I'm expecting you to recreate history. But at the same time, I'd be an asshole if I didn't ask you if you wanted to, your album's coming out Tuesday. If you wanted to drop a little something for the people. It's Hot 97 for God's sake.
I love the freestyle.
I thought though, since we talked about your favorite rappers, and this doesn't need to be a 10-minute fiasco, but since we talked about your favorite rappers. I'm gonna pick.
Pardon the pun.
Oh my God!
Did you just say fiasco?
I did. I forgot. But by the way, when you mentioned that in the interview the other day, when you were like, "Oh, Lupe Fiasco," I forgot about our conversation. That I forgot that he brought you up like that. I forgot. And by the way, you have to remember also my job. I have no understanding of how other people feel when they're watching other people talk about them. Even though I've seen it happen to me sometimes, I don't relate. So I forgot, because he's like, I'm talking about how great Kendrick is, which I don't go back on a word. No matter how much Lupe pressures me, I'm never going back on anything I've ever said. Stop it. I pushed all my chips in on Kendrick, and so far I'm just continuing to pay back. So But when he's like King Los, I'm like, who do you think is that nice? And he's like King Los. I didn't react negatively, did I? I just react uninformed. I wasn't like, fuck out of here. I didn't do that because I've done that before to people too.
You stood up pretty tall.
No. How tall did I stand?
Not for as crazy as I am. You stood pretty tall. You stood like there's not a chance.
Well, I'm an asshole. Hey guys, well guess what? I'm an asshole.
No, it's dope. Yo, I loved every minute of it. I was like, yo, this is dope because the more you stand up, the longer you guys are talking about me.
Well said. And the more that the people who already
you could have
love
been like, yeah, okay, cool, maybe, I don't know, and it'd been like on to the next
we had
subject.
a King Los conversation.
Y'all went in, bro, and then Lupe got livid with you. He was like, yo, so are you telling me, are we disagreeing that King Los is not a better MC than Kendrick Lamar? Because if you're saying anything other than that, you are bugging. I was like, yo.
Forgot. No wonder he pushed me so far. He does say crazy shit.
Bro, you guys went in. And I was just like, yo.
Well, so, Lupe, thank you for this, because here we are full circle, and you're dropping a record on Tuesday.
This is what makes it awkward when me and Kendrick see each other like at the mall. This is like, hey, man, what's up, man?
Oh, you're the only control verse that people are really talking about. That's here.
Yeah, but Kendrick started that.
He bigged up yours.
Kendrick
to
started,
me, right?
Yeah, he to everybody. To everybody.
Well, let's not forget I had the first interview. But yeah, he came on. He was like, I was like, which ones do you like? And he was like, King Los.
Yo, and I have so much respect for that, man. Like, I have so much respect for someone who can do that. It takes a big person to humble themselves and say there's somebody else that doesn't even have to be in a conversation in such a box me out industry. You know, the longer I'm boxed out, nobody even has to have the conversation who's better, because it's like, yeah, but
why pay attention? Why acknowledge someone and make him something?
Yeah,
no one wants to do that.
Like, but it's like, and I'm like, after I'm platinum, I'm this, I'm that. Like, okay, you can rap, and then what? You know, then it goes to it's not about rap no more. So it's like, but what have you done?